Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, and I'm very pleased to announce the print edition of Econ Comics by Steve Keen. So, a lot of people are worked up by the fact that the God Emperor was making some noises about gun control, taking the Democrat demands for gun control seriously, saying that we should talk about this, that, and the other thing. Now, I understand that this is not what we want to hear. This is not the leadership that we want to see. And what I would like to see is, I want to see American gun rights patrolled as aggressively as the anti-BDS movement. I want to see the First Amendment rights of Americans limited if they dare to speak out against limitless, unrestricted gun rights in any way, shape, or form. Okay? If we can pass a law, if 28 state legislatures can pass a law saying that Americans can't call for a boycott of Israel, and that any company that acknowledges or respects a boycott of Israel is going to lose federal contracts, then we can absolutely do the same thing on behalf of the Second Amendment. Because let's face it, no, I did not. You don't know what you're talking about. Anti-BDS. It's what they call the Israel boycott thing. Anyhow, the point is that the First Amendment is worthless without the Second Amendment. Absolutely worthless. We know this. And so what we should do is we should be willing to, since it has already been made clear that you have to bake a cake, that you can't advocate the boycott of Israel, then it's very clear that we have the right, the ability, and more than that, the responsibility to ban any advocacy of gun control. If you advocate gun control, you get fined. If you call for gun control, you get jailed. That simple. Any company that interferes with gun rights in any way loses federal contracts. Any university that restricts carry rights on campus loses federal funding. Any state that passes any law infringing on the right of Americans to keep and bear arms loses its federal highway funds. This is all stuff that the president can do. This is all stuff the president can call for. This is all stuff that I'd like to see the president do. But he has other issues on his agenda. He has other concerns. And he has proven that he knows best how to manipulate the Democratic enemy. And so that's why, I don't get my panties in a bunch just because Donald Trump doesn't do things the way that I would. He's the one who got elected president of the United States, not me. He's the one who put his hat in the ring, trounced the opposition, made them look like fools, and despite the most vicious, vehement press assault in recent political history, he has continued to gain more and more popularity. All right? And so I think that what Trump is doing is he is setting the Democrats up for electoral failure in 2018 and beyond. He wants, the Democrats have made it clear that they're willing to throw in on gun control. Trump knows that this is, his approval ratings are up around 49-50 from significantly below. So he absolutely has, his popularity and his polling has definitely improved. Okay, you're gone. You're a moron. It's pretty simple. We're not here to debate, okay? You don't believe me? That's fine. But shut the fuck up, okay? It's not that difficult. This is not a discussion. This is not a two-way street. I don't mind questions, okay? But you're not going to argue with me. I'm just going to throw you out. So understand that. Anyhow, so the interesting thing is that Democrats have shown they're willing to throw down on that issue. And it is arguably one of their very weakest issues. And so I suspect, I don't know, but based on what we've seen of the God Emperor in the past, I suspect that he is setting the Democrats up. Now, we could be wrong, you know. Maybe he is that stealth New York liberal that we've been warned about for, you know, pretty much ever since he won South Carolina. But I doubt it. And that's true. What Modern Sando just said, even if he didn't plan to do that, that doesn't mean that he can't utilize it that way. There is nobody in American politics who is faster on his feet than Donald Trump. Yes, he makes mistakes. Yes, he says stupid things. Yes, he does stuff that drives his own supporters absolutely crazy. All right? And that's who he is. This is not news. You know, and what I find interesting and what I find telling is the very people who are saying, I'm giving up on Trump, I'm giving up. Well, almost all of them are people who are very reluctant to support Trump in the first place. You know, on my blog, the guys who are, you know, publicly giving up on, you know, publicly jumping off the Trump train are the people who are the last ones on it. You know, and we're seeing the same thing. Now, these are not never Trumpers, but they're what I would call reluctant Trumpers. And so it's not that it's not that surprising that they don't have the same confidence in him that those of us who have supported him from the beginning do. No, I don't think that's fair. They're not moderates at all. They are simply people who prefer a more consistent, less Machiavellian approach. You know, I suspect if we were able to provide personality tests to those people, that they would probably all turn out to be somewhat the same. You know, they all tend to be people who kind of have a personal problem with Trump's individual style. And so, you know, and what, you know, like I commented on the blog about one of these reluctant Trumpers jumping off the Trump train, you know, they're going to come slinking around again and talk about how, you know, now he's done something else that has restored their faith in him. And, you know, they'll be still striking the same poses, trying to claim the moral high ground, trying to claim that, you know, Trump should have done it their way, but it's okay because he kind of got around to it, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, and that's a good point. Republicans have always promised what you want, and they never come through. Trump doesn't always talk a good game, but unlike most politicians, he delivers a better game than he talks. And so that's why, you know, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not happy about that sort of thing, but until he actually signs a bill or signs an executive order that is actually restricting gun rights, I'm not going to get very concerned. You know, we have learned that you cannot assume that you know what Trump is doing. Possibly because I'm not entirely sure that Trump knows himself. You know, Trump is somebody, I think Trump, honestly, and you know, maybe I have a little bit of this myself, or maybe I'm seeing myself in him, but the way that I see him is that he enjoys rolling the dice. He enjoys the chaos. I think he gets a kick out of it. I think that he's somebody who's incredibly easily bored. You know, I'm very easily bored. I recognize someone who is easily bored as well. And so what people who are easily bored do is they just shake stuff up. Always nice to see the gammas show up. Anyhow, you know, sometimes people do stuff. People in Trump's position sometimes do stuff just because they feel like they have to do something. I don't mean do something in the sense of, oh, we have to do something and fix this. I mean, the guy is not contemplative, okay? The guy is not going to sit around and meditate for 45 minutes in order to achieve inner peace. If he gets bored, you know, he's going to go shake something up, you know? I mean, if I was Melania Trump, I would learn how to juggle and basically try to learn some new entertaining trick at least once a month, just to throw curveballs at the guy, you know, because he's going to get bored. You know, that's both his personality trait, and I also think that it's part of somebody who's had a lot of success. As far as what I think about the tariffs, I don't know yet. I haven't read enough about them. I think it's probably a good idea, but I'm not certain because, you know, the devil can be in the details. Anything that is going against free trade at this point in time, in this particular situation for the United States, is a good thing. The fact that Trump had promised that he would do it, yeah, that's just the icing on the cake. So, but anyhow, what I would encourage you to do, you know, if you're a right winger who correctly believes in the importance of gun rights, then just keep doing what you're doing. Go ahead and get even more intense with your rhetoric. You know, let's use these examples of bake the cake. Let's use these examples of anti-BDS. Let's use them and use that. So the important thing is to keep up the pressure from our side, and don't spurg out and freak out and worry about whatever Trump says today, tomorrow, etc. He's always going to say stuff that is unpredictable. He's always going to say stuff that is outrageous. He is always going to ride the chaos because that's what that's what he does. And so, yeah, exactly. Don't spin your bow ties, don't harumph and clear your throat, and don't talk about your sacred principles. Nobody cares. That's how you lose. Watch, learn, trust, but verify. So, that's about all I've got right now. We're going to have some Alt Hero announcements on Monday, so looking forward to that. If you haven't seen yet, we have the Castalia Direct store working, so you can actually buy our new comics direct from the site, right from the site to your door. I'm actually meeting with the company that runs that very soon, and I expect that we're going to be improving the service in the near term. So, in any event, have a good evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the blog.